Okay, so we are not going to talk about this because we haven't got the time. So just for a bit more context, so when we talk about this identity piece that we work with the founders that we work with, it's a three-pronged affair. You know, there's three, fours, and sevens. Well, this is a three-pronged affair before we've done our bit and you're off and running. So today we're just going to talk about the identity piece, which is purpose, mission, vision, position. Then we would move on to strategy, and then we would move on to the mechanics of sales. So that's where this piece of work normally fits with the founders that we work with. And as I've already mentioned, this identity, this purpose, mission, vision is the bedrock of telling your story, building websites, building your products, hiring and firing, and ultimately getting that scalable, repeatable sales engine running that obviously just magics money through your platforms. So this is the underpinnings of that. How we break down identity. Now, there are some differences in the terminologies that I use that you would naturally have in your head, especially around purpose and mission. Most people will think when I talk about mission, they go, oh, it's my mission to save the planet. It's my mission to save all the brown dogs in Croydon, whatever it might be. That's what we call purpose. So use whatever language you want, but for the purpose of today, purpose is why we exist. It's a forever statement. This is what you might call mission. Mission is a collection of goals or a specific thing that you need to achieve. And for early stage companies, it's often around money. How much are you raising to achieve what? So mission one is often around, we've got £500,000 in the bank. We need to achieve, with a North Star of this, we need to achieve 100,000 users with a $500 a month minimum contribution before December 23 or whatever it might be. So missions to us are these very specific time box things. It's not purpose. I don't want to labor that, but just so that you know what's in my head. Vision is the world look like X. So our vision is a world where so Superseed's vision, my fund's vision is a world of meaningful work. So what I want to do as a fund is invest in very smart entrepreneurs who are changing the way that we work so that we're getting rid of all the shit. So therefore the outcome is a world of meaningful work. It's a vision piece. It's kind of over the hill. It's like nebulous, esoteric thing, but that's the vision piece. And then the position is where you fit in your world. Now, a pitch statement and a positioning statement are two very different things. So when I pitch, I say, I do X for Y. Boom! Buy my shit. That's a pitch statement. A positioning statement is, I do X for Y, unlike A, B, and C who do that for Z over there. That's great. They do this piece over there. We do this piece over here, and we're brilliant at it. So it positions you out with the competition. It's the differentiation language. Does that make sense? So you got to think, here's a pitch, here's my pitch statement, and you'll all have those. You'll all have your elevator pitches. Now, most people actually want to hear a positioning statement. They don't want to hear a pitch statement. Investors particularly, because not only do they want to hear what you do, but they want to hear where you fit in the world. So I hope that makes sense. It's really important that it's something that's very misconstrued, and it's something that's I personally find really important that people come up with really powerful positioning statements. So why do we do this? Well, if you look at the data, if you look at all purpose-driven companies, they outperform. So ultimately, if you get the identity piece right, this purpose, mission, vision, position, if you get this articulated correctly, and it is okay to change, it is okay to put a stick in the sand, run this, and then come back in 3 months or 6 months. It's totally natural. But when you do get this right, and you have got this scalable, repeatable model, you will outperform your competition. That's the kind of the macro piece, if you like. The micro piece is that once you've got your purpose, mission, vision, position right, you will be able to hire quicker. You'll be much better team buy-in. You're all aligned. You've got the creative output because it's all kind of according to these rules, these guides, this purpose, mission, vision content guides everything that you do above the fold and below the fold. So that's the kind of the micro piece. I've bored you with this already, but ultimately, if you get all these underpinnings right, and you understand why you exist, you'll do magic things. Yeah, it's all a magic thing. So, um, would anybody has anybody done any purpose vision work before?
Yes.
Would you be so brave as to share your thoughts and maybe some of the outcomes that you achieved?
I actually said yes very boldly, and I can't remember what
That's
we wrote
okay.
down.
That's okay.
So I'll off the cuff make up one. So at Calda, our purpose is to provide gender and sexuality affirming support. Our mission is to get everybody in the LGBT community to feel like they're not alone and we're with them and their feelings are valid and they're beautiful. That was the purpose, the mission. And then the vision is a world where there isn't a discrepancy between LGBT mental health and general population mental health.
Okay, nice, nice. The trouble you have with my terminology, and you fell into this bucket, is that purposes and missions sound very similar. And sometimes you can sit here and you can go round and round and so go, blimey, have I come up with a vision, or is it a purpose or a mission? That's totally natural. That's totally fine. So, and the other thing is, I always find that when you do these exercises, you've only got so much brain juice and so much energy for them. You've kind of got like 3 or 4 hours in a day, and then you go, I don't know what's what anymore, and I'm just talking waffle. And it's okay to put it in the drawer, come back, and you'll naturally, when you're going for a run or you're in the shower, you're talking with friends, things will pop, a word will come into your head or a phrase, you go, oh my God, and you write it down on your phone, and then the next week take it out of the drawer and you can revisit it, and it goes from like 40% happy to 60% happy. And then the next time you do that, in another week's time, you get to 80% happy. Now, I'm always of the belief that if you're 80% happy with something, this Pareto principle, that's good enough to go with. So never think in especially in early stage startup, never think in ultimates or exceptions. If you get to the 80%, yeah, that kind of resonates. That I can feel that below the neck. That kind of feels right. That's good enough to go with, and get it on the website, get it in the pitch deck, and then go to market and test it. Because ultimately, if it doesn't resonate with your audience that you're trying to present to, then you've got it wrong. So once you're at 80%, go and get the acid test, which is what people wanna hear. So Mayo, you've got a question.
I don't know, just to share our vision and
Yeah,
mission.
go. Love to hear it.
Yeah, so we're data security for APIs, and so so apologies for reading. Our vision is a world where every interaction with personal data is traceable and true. Our mission is to show risk to personal data in motion, ship facts, not data, and shield every interaction. And our purpose, our positioning is context observes, transforms, and traces data in motion.
Okay, so again, purpose and mission are confused, but I understand because you're talking. I'm using my language and you're using yours, which is absolutely perfect. And the positioning statement missed off the competitive element. So you didn't position, you pitched.
Right.
But the words in there, beautiful. Don't the other thing that everybody does, and I've done this a couple of times myself, is once you do this exercise so many times, you start to disappear up your own backside, and you start to use really clever words and phrases which actually don't mean anything to anybody else but you. So you've really got to give it the grandpa test. So once you come up with your purpose, mission, vision, position, go and speak to somebody that knows nothing about what you do and say, does this make sense? Am I a mentor? Is this okay? Is this right? And then they go, oh. If they go, ooh, that's interesting, you get one of two responses. I get it, or they ask you questions. Now, I quite like purpose, mission, vision, position statements that make somebody go, tell me more about that. Or what does that mean? As long as it's relevant and it's not, I have no freaking clue what you're saying, and they ask you questions. If it's a positive question rather than a negative question, I quite like that, because part of what you want to do is to get people to engage with you. When you are going out to the investor community, your pitch deck will not get investment. It will get you another meeting. It will get you an engaged, interesting something. It's not going to mean, I'm never going to go, my God, let me get out my wallet and give you the money. That's just not how these things work. So all you've really got to do in the investment context is enthuse me enough to go, hey, Sim, I want to speak to you again. This is awesome. Tell me more. So there's part and parcel of this identity piece driving a narrative, which is only to get you to the next step. And sometimes you can play games with that. Anyway, I'm starting to rabbit hole even more. I'm going to shut up. Anthony, tell me stuff.
Hey Dan, how you doing? It's kind of our work in progress. So purpose is to change the way SMEs get paid for good. Our vision is SMEs are the economic engine room of the world, hardworking people doing whatever needs to be done, where and whenever it's needed. If anyone deserves a better deal, it's them. So we believe we have the power to create real value for SMEs while we're the most recommended payments brand in the world. And our mission is we'll do this by focusing on 3 core aspects, finding new ways to help SMEs retain more of their income, creating effortless experiences that improve the speed at which they get paid, and challenging ourselves to constantly uncover new opportunities to create more value for SMEs.
Okay, nice. Lots of really key words in there. I got the essence. It bored me because it was so long. So you need to cut that down by 5x. You had some beautiful words in there that I think you can string together that make me go, oh, tell me more about that. That's really interesting. Rather than giving me all the answers, leave some implicit. Because there's explicit and there's implicit. You can tell somebody and you can beat them around the head with words, but really what you want to do is give them the minimum. They go, that's awesome. And they get a feeling or a sense of what to ask you next. So be careful of the word length. Be very aware of using negative phrases. I heard a few negative phrases, and there was an implicit negative phrase in there, I think, was around SMEs aren't treated well or something like that. So be very aware of what's a positive statement and what's a negative statement. And without making it sound like cheeseball American, oh my God, we're going to save the world. But you've got to think about framing everything in the positive. Because you are amazing, it is amazing, and you are awesome. So be very, very wary of ever letting somebody slip off the energetic peak that you want to take them to, and they go, oh yeah, SMEs are a bit miserable, aren't they, because they're treated so badly. So don't let me energetically go into that space.
Feedback.
Ludovica.
Hello, hi. So I'm gonna read that because otherwise I stress out. So purpose, we give people access to allergens and nutrition information to drive restaurant sales. Mission, with £29 a month, we enable every restaurant to understand what they are serving to their diners and make sure to serve that to the right diner. Vision, the world will look like you could choose by walking by what is the best, healthier, safer option for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Anthony, you've got to be wary of word count. People will switch off. We have the attention span. I think when Obama came into power in 2008, was it? They did a whole bunch of studies around how long we pay attention to things. And online, our attention span over the last 20 years has gone from maybe a minute and a half to 6 seconds. So with that in mind, you've really got to think about word count and compressing. Don't give all the answers. You can get very. I think Anthony came up very clever with wordplay. Was it good SME? There was a wordplay in there. Get paid for good or something, if memory serves. So you can get very cute with wordplay. So if there is anything like that, use it, because people, their ears prick up. Be very wary of word count. And also, and this is completely natural because I've only just dumped this on you, but missions are time-boxed things for you to achieve. Purposes are getting out of bed. You can call it the other way around if you want to. Or you can call the mission for both, and you have an internal mission and a public-facing mission. That's totally fine. Call them what you want, but for the purposes of the exercise, always think about a mission being we've got a limited amount of cash in the bank, a limited amount of time, and we need to achieve something, and that's what a mission is. So every mission has to be in a time box. If it's not in a time box, it's not a mission in my head. Call it what you want, but call them a collection of OKRs or goal, but it has to be a box thing. I was going to say something else, but it's just left me. Gone. Pew. Okay. Thank you. Awesome, Ewan.
Hey. we're saying about identity and conflating mission with purpose. Very much we are in the trenches there trying to figure out how to separate the two. So we are from Barback, and we have a labour infrastructure platform aimed at solving the labour crisis while also democratising labour in the industry. So we have a very huge...
Ewan, say that again. Say that again. What are you doing?
So we have a labour infrastructure platform for hospitality aimed at solving the labour crisis while also democratising labour. So there's a lot of pain points that we're having to deal with. There's 20 or 30 different issues that we're all trying to solve at the same time.
But to start with, you need to immediately give that phrase to grandma and grandpa and ask them what you do, because you sound like a political party statement, and you're not.
Yep.
You're sexy. You're solving real shit. So you need to get that to be something, because the other problem that you'll have is once it's anchored in your head, it's fine to you, isn't it? And you say it every day and it's fine to you and you just carry on saying it. You have to get rid of that statement. That statement is not serving you well. So give that to grandma, grandpa and say, what do we do? What do I do? And then they go, oh, well, you're a platform that helps me hire the right person at the right time. That's what we do. Thank you very much, grandma. Off we go. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but I needed to. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely golden. That's perfect. No, yes. So very, very much we are. Our purpose and our mission does energize people, but again, it just comes down to trying to split that off to what are we here for and what do we offer. That's where we've been struggling a little bit, and what you said, did kind of solve that a little bit.
Did you have a purpose and mission? Do you want to share it? Do you want to share them?
Our purpose is to solve the labour crisis. It's been going on since before I was born. It's about 20 odd years it's been going on for. Through you mentioned Pareto efficiency as what we strive for, to basically reallocate labour on a national scale. Our mission is to repair the industry and to help democratise labour.
Hang on. Whoa, backtrack. So our purpose is to something labour on a national scale. What was that piece again?
Reallocate labour.
Reallocate. What does that mean? What does reallocate? The other framework that I use all the time is the 5 whys. You've probably heard of this. So everything I say, I go why, like a three. I am a 3-year-old in my head. They go why. What does that mean? Why? And then before you get to the 5th why, asking yourself the same question, you will have the answer. So why is reallocation of labour a thing?
Because people aren't in the right jobs for themselves or for the employer. People are mismatched in the industry. Why
does that matter? Does it matter that people aren't in the right jobs?
Because then you have a 30% turnover rate and a 50% absence rate, which isn't even holiday. It's just people not turning up.
You've shifted stakeholders. You've gone from me as the individual to the company. So you also got to think in stakeholder management. So who are you talking to? You're talking to the individual, which is probably who you want to be talking to, because that's the emotive angle. It's about you doing the right thing for you. You being mentally and physically connected to what you do for a living. So there's something very emotively powerful in that. So be careful of stakeholder shifting in statements.
Yep. Okay.
So say the end piece again, because I interrupted you again. Sorry.
So with people mismatched in the industry, you then end up with, say, a 30% turnover rate and a 48% absence rate. So people aren't up to shift. People are then suffering as a result. People then leave en masse. They don't do probation. Hiring costs then go up. And so both parties are not being served well. This all comes from, it's low-paying jobs, so people just go paycheck to paycheck, whatever they can. And out of that desperation, people are mismatched. And so we have to kind of reallocate labour there to solve this issue once and for all. And that's where we try and commit our mission. Okay.
You got some really lovely, sexy, emotive stuff in there. And I think that you're, first off, speak to one stakeholder, which I think is the end customer, because everybody will understand how they're being served. So that's fine. That's implicit. But that's the emotive piece. And you're a matching engine. So you talk about like when you're dating or buying a house or buying a car, you get that kind of that matched feeling, like I belong. So you create belonging. So I think your vision piece is around feeling a sense of family, commitment, belonging, or something in those pieces as a vision piece. And don't confuse you've kind of shifted product to features. So I loved some of the statements around some of the shifts that you create, some of the outcomes that you create, but don't put those into necessarily purpose mission. They're outcomes and they're great, and that's part of the sales. So how do you prove what you do? Well, we save 30% of your costs. So you can only save or make money, right? That's all you can do is help a company save or make money. That's it. There is nothing else in the world. You either save or make money. That's it, done. So do that as a subset. Don't do that as part of the statement, because that's an outcome, and that's very powerful. But that's a proof point. So that's like a feature, not product, if you like, in that context.
That's golden. Absolutely golden.
Rishi.
Hi, sorry.
Hi, Dan. Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it was Rishi, not Richie. Yes, Richie.
Sorry, I just realised that.
So which one is it, Rishi or Richie?
Rishi, it's you. You, my man.
Cool.
You're my
Okay,
man.
all right, sure. Thanks. So purpose, we exist to solve the digital skills gap, where data analytics and data science is moving at an incredible pace, but most people are stuck in spreadsheets and manual processes. So our mission is that over the next...
Hold on, wait there. So we fill the data skills gap.
Yeah.
Perfect, done. Boom.
Okay. Over the next few months, we want to develop a series of engaging and relevant e-learning modules that companies can customize for themselves and host internally.
So that is your pitch statement that goes above the fold, and you might want to add a positioning ending to that to make it more powerful. But that's your pitch statement. That's not purpose, mission, or vision. But that is incredibly eloquent and useful. It's just not any of those four, or it's half of the fourth.
Okay. So vision, our vision is that we have people who work in the grounds of companies and finance teams or operation, for example, can have access to internal learning on demand where they can upskill at their own pace.
It's too pragmatic and practical. So vision is you gotta heart harpoon them. I go, boom! I've just like made you fall in love with me because you're gonna change the world and save all the babies and fix climate change. You want to get boom in the middle of the heart. And you've given me a very practical, pragmatic way. So you're obviously a very head person and very thoughtful and considered. So shift it down your body into the heart and the gut and go, that's where visions live. So how will the world look differently because you exist?
Yeah, sure. And then positioning, there's a huge number of training providers in the space, a lot of free content available on the internet, but all of that content is generic and there's too much of it. We're tailoring our content to specific roles, personas, and companies.
It's missing, it's kind of implicit, the competitive piece.
Okay.
A bit like with Anthony, you've got to be really careful of negative phrasing. Everything you just said then has a positive flip, which you can use just as powerfully. So don't just... It's very cheap to deride people and be always pick the pejorative. So be very aware of that. Always use positive phrases, even in positioning, because everything that your competitive landscape is doing, if it's working, is having a positive outcome for somebody. So don't be down on that, but just take a different place.
How do you do that with also still identifying and addressing pain points, right? You're saying be a painkiller, not a vitamin. How do you identify those pain points and get those pain points across and show that they exist today without talking about the challenges people have?
It's hard. The first thing you want to do is really clearly define your ICP. And once you've got those personas defined, there will be a positive spin to all of the pain that you're killing. Is creating a massively positive output. Obviously, ultimately, you want at least one banner client and a case study. Then you don't even need to worry about positioning, because don't talk to me. Go and speak to GlaxoSmithKline. They use us and boom, that's what they get. So until you're there, you have to tell the narrative, right? Well, you tell the narrative anyway, but they do coexist. But
so what's the ICP? Sorry, Julian.
Ideal customer profile. So it's persona. Sorry, insane clown posse. Let's go with that, Julian. Let's do that. It's customer personas, ideal customer profile. So one thing you do post this identity piece, which we're scooching around, is then go and define who you're selling to, and then you ask them, and you do all of your exploratory, all of your experimentation will go on in your customer base. And you will always find early adopters that either love you or it or both. And then you experiment with them. And then you work out, oh, you told me it was an invoicing issue. It's not an invoicing issue. It's an HR issue. And then you tweak your invoicing platform to actually serve people in a different way rather than an invoice schedule. So I don't know if that answers your question. Does that come even close?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Chris. Oh no, I lied. It was Richie. Where have you gone? You've disappeared off my screen. Richie, you
Yeah,
with us?
I'm still here. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, it's like musical squares up here. I can't see one. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. Mission statement is our online platform aims to eliminate the high risk and cost associated with job advertising. Our vision statement is we believe job.
So Richie, hold on. So that's pitch. That's not purpose, mission,
right.
vision, position. That's pitch, which is great. You need it, but that's none of the above. Remember, purpose is why you get out of bed, why the company gets out of bed. Mission is a time box thing that you need to achieve by a certain moment in the year or the decade. Vision is in a world where, or the value that we've created think in 10 years. The world looks different because you've done something amazing. And it's not always necessarily about the physical thing that you do. It might be a behavioral change that lives because of you. So it can be slightly esoteric. And then position is pitch compared to everyone else. So purpose, why we exist forever. Mission, time box thing to achieve you only have so much time and energy. People talk about runways in cash terms, but don't forget, you only have so much go juice. You will not be able to do this in 5 years' time at the pace that you guys are working now, because you'll just be a shell of a person. You'll be exhausted and useful to nobody. So don't just think in money terms, think in energy terms. It's about you and managing that energy and managing the money. So missions are about controlling that piece. You only have so much go juice and money and time and resource and all those things. So that's what mission is. It's about creating little stepping stones of missions out of what you have right today. And then this vision is this kind of over the hill, lovely, wonderful world that we're going to create. And then position is, this is what I do and this is what they do.
Okay, so I'm just saying that. Right, okay. Vision statement is we believe job advertising can make a positive impact on small businesses and communities.
That's a sales narrative. So that's a bit like Rishi. You've basically come up with the subset of something. It's probably the subset of a positioning statement. So it'll be a bullet, which is great. You need that as well.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we probably have time for just.
Oh my God!
Last person can go really, really fast.
I didn't realize the time. We've got 2 minutes, but I think, listen, this is great because you've all come up with very, very powerful ways of thinking. And I hope through example, we've gone through what's a purpose, what's a mission statement, what's a vision statement, what's a position statement. And I'll happily, if you want any of these stuff, the girls have my details and I'll happily send you the template for this.
That'd be fantastic.
If that's useful. Aaron, go.
Hi. Yeah. Our purpose, personalizing your shopping. Mission is 50 million shoppers a month. Vision is we want to change how people buy clothes. Positioning is a new way of shopping.
Okay. So I love the length and the structure. Don't be too generic because it needs to mean something to me to make me fizz. I want you to make my heart and gut fizz. Oh my God, I love you. I want to buy your stuff. So it can't be so generic that I'm going, yes, what? Where did that go? And the positioning statement was missing the others. You pitched, you didn't position.
A new way of shopping. So that means, is it not positioning?
No, a position is how are you differentiated from other people that are doing what you do. So we do X for Y, unlike Z and A who do this for those guys. That's great because they do it over there, but we do this for these people, unlike the other my competitors that do that for them. All right. So that's the difference between position and pitch. It's like here's me and here's them, and this is why effectively implicitly why you're better.
So we are better. We are better because.
Yeah, you've got to come out, and you can either only be cheaper, better, different, new. There's only 4 things as a top level.
All right, thank you.
Right, I have to run. I have to run to an investor call. I hope that was in some way useful. You are all awesome. Thank you for the examples. Everybody chipped in. That was great because often I say that and it's tumbleweed. So thank you. And the girls have my details. If you want any review, I'm very happy to do so.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dan. We knew this session would be great, but this far surpassed our high expectations. So jump off and thank you again.
All of the loves, go get them, go kill them. You're all tigers.